What's up, folks? It's your host, Kels here, and welcome to Show and Terror. Now, in this video, I kind of just want to talk about all the similarities that I personally noticed between this year's horror movie, Blackphone, and 2012's horror movie, Sinister. Now, if you don't know, both of these movies were directed by the same guy, Scott Derrickson. And I'm not coming out and saying that these movies are a carbon copy of each other because they're not. They actually have way more differences and they have similarities. However, the few similarities that they do have between each other are actually pretty interesting. And I figured, hell, man, let's make a video, let's point them out, and let's bring it to the people. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number one, their targets. Now, just looking at these two, you obviously wouldn't expect these two to have too much similarities between them. I mean, hell, Bagul here, he's got the blacked out face, blacked out eyes, blacked out mouth. But then you look from the neck down, he honestly is pretty well dressed. Like he's found some time to walk into a men's department store. I don't know where he got that time from. I thought he was an ancient demon, but hell. Then you look at the grabber. Now, the grabber, to be honest with you, he looks like a normal, just well-dressed, middle-aged white dude. If we're not counting the mask. The mask is honestly like the most disturbing part of him. And actually threw me off watching the movie because I've never seen a horror movie villain with so much customizable materials when it comes to their mask. I think his mask actually breaks down into 3 different parts. You know, I think he can kind of change his facial expression from smiley face to sad face. Like I've never seen anything like it. It really reminded me of the Ray J meme with the hat moving around several times.
Different, bro. Different. He's different.
All right, but enough of the tangent. Let's get back on focus here. Now, their targets are honestly very similar. They're both snatching up kids at the end of the day. Now, I will say Bagul seems to be snatching up younger kids, cruising around elementary range, while the grabber is snatching up high schoolers. But at the end of the day, they're both kids, and what's even more similar between the two is the aftermath involving their victims. Both kids, honestly, whether it's the Bagul or whether it's the grabber, they seem to have some kind of purgatory afterlife connection with their killer. One being, you know, Bagul, he seems to always travel around with his child victims. You know, they're always kind of with him and doing his bidding, even beyond death. And even, you know, with the grabber, these kids who have been the grabber's victims who have been dropped off and murdered by him, they're always calling the phone. They can speak with him through the phone. And this is honestly commented on by one of the deceased kids, like, you know, in their ghost form. You know, they're talking to our main character saying, yo, you know, we can talk to you through the phone. You hear the phone ringing. But the grabber hears the phone too. He just chooses not to answer it, or he kind of chooses to ignore us, which is a kind of rude. Grabber, pick up the damn phone. Like, it's the least you could do.
Hang up the phone!
Number 2, the flashbacks. Now, in watching both movies, you're gonna see that you're gonna get ambushed with a lot of flashbacks, showing you the past lives of the kids before they died. In Sinister, you're gonna see a lot of flashbacks with their families, and then you're actually gonna get a lot of home footage of them actually murdering their families. And very similarly, you're gonna get a lot of flashbacks in Black Phone with, you know, these past kids living their life, doing their thing, being happy until, you know, the grabber pulled up and snatched them up. And what was so similar with these flashbacks, it's done very it looks like it's shown through old timey footage. It's very vintage footage, very staticky. You can tell it's old timey footage. And that was one similarity that was just so glaring. I'm just like, man, I literally have not seen this anywhere else other than Sinister, to be honest with you. And here it is in Black Phone. And just to mention something else, jump scares with these ghost children, these deceased dropped off kids, are done very similarly as well. I mean, if you don't believe me, I got some examples. Let me show you.
Hello?
Don't hang up.
Who are you?
Number 3, the actors. Now, if you didn't know, both of these movies were produced by the same studio, Blumhouse. And it's really no surprise at all that there's shared actors between these movies. I mean, that's kind of what happens in Hollywood. That's kind of what happens in the movie industry. If a studio has worked with an actor or actress in the past and everything went well and was hunky dory, they're probably gonna go to them again for a future project. And it's probably not surprising anyone that Ethan Hawke was in both movies. I mean, in Sinister 1, he was our main protagonist. He was the father trying to figure out what was going on, trying to protect his family from Bagul. And in Blackphone, he was actually our main antagonist. He was the one doing the killing. He was the one doing the dropping off as, the grabber. But these movies actually shared another actor in common. Mr. James Ranson. He basically played a supporting role in both movies. In Sinister 1, he was one of the cops in the movie, if you remember at all. And in Blackphone, spoiler alert, he was actually the brother of the grabber. And it was just kind of funny, kind of interesting to see. I was like, oh man, that's him as well. Like, damn. But all in all, that's all the similarities that I noticed between these movies. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate the support, and I will be bringing more content like this in the future. And yeah, I'm out.